Pumpkin King!
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Fantastic! They're celebrating!
There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads. They're busy building toys, and absolutely no one's dead. There's frost at every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. And in my bones, I feel the warmth that's coming from inside.
My dearest Jack.
Sally. This year, Christmas will be ours! Open it up, quickly!
And what did Santa bring you, honey?
Ho, ho, ho!
Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Eureka!
The Nightmare Before Christmas. The best claymation movie ever made. A visual treat to an audience. A movie that has tons of merch. Even I have merchandise. I have a beanie. I have a blanket. I even have a little wooden poster with all the characters on it. I have the movie in 3D because I have a 3D TV. I bought the movie in 4K because I want the 4K quality. This movie is a classic and no one can deny that. The imagery is captivating. Seeing the beautiful craftsmanship of the claymation is hard to look away from. The colors pop and help the story, giving us rich visuals to admire using stop motion animation. It took the studio 3 years to finish the animation alone and required 100 artists to complete. They were only able to complete 1 minute of footage a week when making this because of the immense work to change out the parts and move all the pieces. It really looks marvelous. You can see the hard work that went into it. If you have ever seen how stop motion animation is done, you can appreciate the amount of work that went into making this movie.
To animate Jack's facial expressions and mouth movements, the animators used hundreds of hand-sculpted replacement heads.
So every time he makes a different mouth position, A, E, I, O, U, and then everything in between, and then in a mad way or a sad way or a happy way or a neutral way, we have to have a whole different sculpt of the head. We might use as many as 400 distinctly different Jack heads.
And there's a lot of stress that was behind the scenes. I remember I heard a story about Tim Burton going into the studio. He looked at some of the concept art and he hated what he saw. He actually got so mad, he punched his fist through a wall and said, "Listen, everything needs to be black, gray, and orange and yellow. That's it." And he walked out of there. I believe this story to be true. And I also think he was probably very stressed out because he was in the middle of making Batman Returns while trying to make this movie. That's why he wasn't able to direct The Nightmare Before Christmas, because he was directing and already working on Batman Returns. So he was doing two things at the same time. I still think the movie turned out really great with him not directing, and it has one of the biggest merc lineups ever in a film. See, the difference between watching this as an adult as to watching this as a kid is a kid just enjoys the music and colors. They won't notice how Jack is a bit of a narcissist. I myself couldn't help but notice that Jack is self-focused, entitled, arrogant, and wants to be admired. In one of Jack's songs, he actually boasts and says, "I excel without ever even trying with the slightest little effort of my ghost-like charms." Yet he's bored, so he decides to take over someone else's holiday. He thinks he knows best and doesn't listen when Sally tries to warn him that it will all be a disaster. He critiques the others in Halloween Town that they are doing Christmas wrong, even though he doesn't understand it himself. He is convinced that Christmas should belong to him and that he will improve it, and then ends up creating a huge mess of the holiday. It's not until the end of the movie, after he's shot down from the sky after ruining Christmas, that he realizes he needs to apologize to Santa and set things right. Even if you're not a movie person, you know what The Nightmare Before Christmas is. The merc lineup has gotten just bigger over the years because the movie wasn't that successful when it first came out, and there's a reason for it. It's just a great movie that wasn't appreciated during its time. One of my only complaints of the movie is I do wish it was 5 minutes longer. And you might be thinking, well, wow, what's 5 minutes going to do? It could have done a lot. Could have fleshed out the end a little more. It was a little rushed. I think the 5 minutes would have helped. And it was only running about 72 minutes. I think this could have ran 80. But I would have been happy with 5 extra minutes. I'm not downfalling the movie and downgrading it for that. It's just something I personally wished is it was a little bit longer by like 5 to 6 minutes. And this is one of the only movies I personally watch every single year. I have a friend that I make a joke with in the movie. There's that one character that goes, "The plan, master, the plans." It's just such a weird line, and the way he says it is just funny because it's creepy and just out of place. Sometimes when I call my friend, I'll go, "The plans." It's a really funny quote, and it's something I really like in the movie because it's really weird.
Master, the plans.
And this is a great family movie, so to me, it's no surprise that The Nightmare Before Christmas was nominated for an Oscar and has a 95% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a Disney and a holiday movie unlike any other, with a dark twist on Halloween and Christmas. The nice thing about this is you can watch this movie during Halloween time and Christmas time. It's a masterpiece in stop motion animation. The characters are intriguing, the music is catchy and well done, and it really is for people of all ages. The Nightmare Before Christmas spins a rather bizarre yet interesting tale about Halloween and Christmas that could only have come from the imagination of Tim Burton. It is a classic and a good example of what perfect filmmaking is. It is a masterpiece. There are a lot of great movies out there, but I am specifically talking about claymation. There are a lot of other great claymation movies out there. I don't want to down that work. But The Nightmare Before Christmas is very special. And it still holds up to this day, and it is popular for a reason. It is just all around a great, universally loved film. And it's going to be with people for a long time. This is going to be a classic for decades. It has a huge following, and it deserves to have a following because The Nightmare Before Christmas is a perfect. I truly believe this movie is flawless and is a perfect family movie. And Tim Burton and the team all did a fantastic job with this movie. And this movie has come down 30 years later and still holds up as a masterpiece. Thanks for watching, everybody.